Biggie was in the street. He's one of the greatest of all times and a great lyricist.
In the realm of hip-hop, two legendary forces, Tupac and Biggie Smalls, were more than just embroiled in a bitter feud. Beneath the surface, a deep respect for Tupac's artistry dwelled within Biggie's heart.
I kind of realized how powerful Tupac and I was.
What remains lesser known is that Biggie privately mourned Tupac's tragic death in his own way, harboring intentions to finally bury the hatchet and end their long-standing rivalry.
Two individual people, we waged a coastal beef. I gotta be the one to flip it and take my power and flip it like, yo, they gotta be dead, you know what I'm saying? Because he...
Adding another layer of complexity, one of Tupac's closest associates, Treach, revealed that Biggie had loved Pac, but due to the presence of real-life criminals in his inner circle, he couldn't help him.
And Pac didn't understand that Biggie probably feared these, but Biggie loved Pac.
Let's delve into the dynamics of the Biggie-Tupac relationship, exposing the untold chapters of their complex connection. Chapter 1. The Friendship. Contrary to what many believe, the animosity between Biggie and Tupac was only surface deep. The East Coast hip-hop legend regarded his West Coast rival in high regard, a sentiment usually gone unnoticed. It is interesting to note that Tupac and Biggie held similar positions in the hierarchy. Therefore, Tupac's demise must have hit close to home for him. In an interview with Bet, Biggie revealed that after losing his rival, he realized the power they both held.
Duke don't like me, so this whole coast don't like me. You know what I'm saying? I don't like him, so my whole coast don't like him. It just kind of let me know how much strength I have.
The King and I rapper looked back in regret, alluding that he wanted to sit down and talk to Tupac about the raging beef that they had. But as Tupac left the world untimely, Biggie vowed that he would end the beef for both of them.
Just because that man had a beef with me or I had a beef with him, that don't mean you can't like me. Ask me what's going on. Ask me what's going on. I'm going to talk to you just like you're a regular person. So I got to squash it.
Not to mention, Biggie's then estranged wife, Faith, claimed that she got a call from him when Pac passed away. She claimed that his voice was low and small. It seemed like he was crying. According to her, he said, quote, "Something ain't right. Faye, S got F up somewhere along the way. But that was my guy." The beef has been highlighted so much that people seem to forget that Pac and Big used to be really close friends. In the beginning, the duo used to hang out together on various occasions.
And if you look really closely, you'll see the rarest of footage of Biggie and Tupac hugging on the edge of stage.
Fans regret losing two legendary icons to a silly PR beef. Tupac and Biggie should have never been made a part of that stupid, highly exaggerated, stupid, so-called East Coast-West Coast beef. They should have done platinum-selling albums together. We music lovers lost two great artists over this BS. The Devil is Indeed a Liar, SMH. Chapter 2. The Start of Beef. What started the beef was the incident when Pac got called up to the studio by Biggie's affiliated rapper Lil Cease. But when Pac got there, he got shot, beaten, and robbed of his jewelry. After finding out that Biggie and Puff were inside the building the whole time, Pac was led to believe that Biggie was behind it. Their friendship ended that night. Ed Lover, who was friends with both Pac and Biggie, describes their perspectives in these words.
If you didn't have anything to do with it, you knew it was gonna happen, why you ain't tell me? And from Big's perspective was like, doggy, I didn't know it was going to happen.
Ed revealed that when the wedge was in place between Big and Pac, other forces, namely Suge and Puffy, exploited it unnecessarily, which led to the whole East and West beef. According to Ed,
Pac went in, everything just got so blown out of proportion, and then, you know, Pac's in jail, and then he's with Suge. Not Biggie and Pac anymore, it's Bad Boy and Death Row.
Chio Hodari Coker, an insider, revealed that Pac was obsessed with Biggie's music, and that was the basis of their friendship. You might not believe it, but Pac and Biggie had quite a few things in common that made their relationship strong.
They both identified with lack of central father figure, being hot MCs at the same time, naturally intelligent, both in the street sense.
They both complemented each other in more ways than one.
You ready? You want to set it off?
Yeah, I'm scared to do some freestyle. I'm scared to do some freestyle.
You see, when Pac was shot for the first time, he wanted to talk to Biggie about it. But Biggie all of a sudden started to avoid Pac. Interestingly, it was at the same time that Biggie allegedly started to hang out with Diddy.
I went to them personally and talked to them. I do it by the rules of etiquette. So I got shot. I'm like, yo, what happened? Come see me in jail. Biggie all in the air talking about, yeah, Pac is my homeboy, but not seeing me.
In an interview, Pac declared that the guy who opened fire on him was the same guy Biggie warned him about a week before it happened, and that is why he couldn't buy that Biggie knew nothing.
About a week before I got shot, he knew the was shot me, and he was like, Pop, don't hang around this on me, you know, we walked in with the shot that ended up shooting me.
Pac revealed the real reason he started taking the beef seriously was because after getting shot, he asked around, but not even one person that was present there opened their mouth to answer him. He said,
Study why I would be mad when half of New York, half of the major New York rappers, or they managers, or they agents, or they somebody was there when I got shot, and nobody couldn't give me no information.
It was after getting disappointed at Biggie that Tupac started to openly diss him and his music. Pac blatantly refused the suggestion to peacefully coexist with the East.
There's no dream of making an album with Biggie and Puffy, or none of them. We're not sweating it like that. This is our family. We peacefully coexist right now because we all cool.
Chapter 3. Different Labels. It is important to note that Biggie was already signed to Puffy's label, Bad Boy Records, and Tupac joined Suge's label, Death Row Records, immediately after getting out of jail. Now, as anyone could have imagined, Tupac was hurt by Biggie's alleged betrayal, and Suge, who owned a label in opposition to Biggie's, approached him when he was very vulnerable. According to Greg, Suge exploited this opportunity to the best of his abilities and had Tupac do 3 records in exchange for getting him out of jail. It seemed like Suge had been waiting for a moment to trap Tupac.
Suge Knight recognizes this business opportunity. He approaches Tupac Shakur, and they cut a deal for him to do 3 records for Death Row in exchange for getting him out of prison on bail.
Within days of that situation occurring, Tupac was unable to pay a $3 million bail on his head, which led to him being sentenced to a 1.5 years in prison for SA. While Tupac was in jail, Biggie released the now infamous track, Who Shot Ya?, which many interpreted as a direct diss to Tupac. He rapped, "I'm still thinking this guy my man," he said of Tupac. "This S has just got to be talk. That's all I kept saying to myself. I can't believe he would think that I would S on him like that." Biggie denied this on many occasions and maintained that the song was written before the shooting. But Tupac took it as a direct attack and began belittling the Brooklyn rapper. Throughout various raps, Tupac claimed Biggie was behind the shooting, that the younger rapper stole his flow and even bragged about sleeping with Biggie's wife, Faith Evans.
You claim to be a player, but I the wife. Any you from New York that wanna bring it, but we ain't singing, we bringing drama.
Just like Suge, Diddy was also trying to take advantage of Biggie in more ways than one. While out in public, Diddy would portray that Biggie and him were on very friendly terms. Former Bad Boy Records president Kirk Burroughs revealed that Biggie did not trust Sean at all.
I honestly, when I look back on it, if he trusted Sean more, it would have been better. But he didn't trust him as much.
Kirk explained that Biggie had to go to LA for the Soul Awards, but he wasn't supposed to go to the after party. You see, Biggie was supposed to go on a marketing campaign in London right after the show.
He was supposed to leave that early morning, go to London, and we would be out there for 2 or 3 days, and then he would go back to New York and go home.
When the time to go arrived, Diddy talked Biggie into staying and going to the party.
He's not going to London. Call Arista, cancel it. You go. You represent it, you go. He's not going. He wants to stay here in LA.
Gene later revealed that Puffy's whole intention behind bringing Biggie to LA was to use him to end the beef.
He did not want the beef with the Crips. Puff ain't want the beef with the Dog Pound.
Chapter 4. Tupac's Demise. On the night of September 7th, 1996, Tupac attended the Bruce Seldon vs. Mike Tyson boxing match at the MGM Grand Hotel in Las Vegas, Nevada. After the fight, Tupac and his entourage were involved in a physical altercation with another group, which included Orlando Baby Lane Anderson, a member of the Southside Crips gang. Several hours later, Tupac and Suge were driving in a black BMW 750i sedan. They stopped at a red light at the intersection of Flamingo Road and Koval Lane. Suddenly, a white Cadillac pulled up alongside their vehicle, and an unknown assailant inside the Cadillac opened fire on them. Well, the said fight with Anderson started because Diddy had placed a bounty on the Death Row chains. According to Knight's close friend, Mob James, Diddy wanted to escalate the Bad Boy Death Row beef by offering Southside Crips $10K bounties on Death Row chains. And that's exactly what happened. Quote, Suge knew what he was doing. Puffy knew what he was doing. And now you have two gangs fighting each other, and they are sitting back letting it happen. and they get paid at the same time. Danny Boy, who was formerly signed to Death Row Records, spoke to ITS-AGTV and confirmed during the feud that rap mogul Diddy put a $75,000 award out for anybody who can get him a Death Row chain.
Said that Puffy had a $75,000 award out for anybody that could bring them a real Death Row medallion.
He alluded that most folks in the know think Anderson was the man who gunned Pac down later that night. He claimed that Suge should have stopped Tupac from getting into a fight. He said, "Tupac doesn't know of any Southside Crips. That's one of my problems with Suge. This dude is an artist. This is a man who's worth millions to you, and you let him go over and fight gangbangers. A man he knew jack about. This is how he got K'd. Because man, you're running into a hitter. If you think about it, it is very obvious why Suge didn't try to stop Pac. Fans believe that the most advantage of the beef was taken by the label owners. After the incident, it looked like Suge was trying hard to win sympathy from the public. Only after a week, Suge did an interview with MTV and said, "I feel like this. I feel that the last word is always God, but Pac saved my life. Pac saved my life. I got shot in the head, got grazed some other places, but I still got the bullet in my head. It's still here. Before I was trying to get him to the hospital. Didn't make me realize that I was shot. Because usually when you get shot in the head, the first thing the person do is panic. You know, bam, I'm shot in the head, I'm going to die. And once you do that, you can't drive nowhere. My whole thing was Pac. He got shot. I'm like, you're shot, let me get you to the hospital." Suge went on to express the alleged last words Pac had said to him. Quote, that he loved me. You know, he was getting there. I'm like, Pac, you're gonna be the last one left. But we talked this out. We talked it. He said, no, I'm straight. I love you, homie. I'm gonna be straight. I love you too. That's where he was. Chapter 5. Leaving labels. While Suge was trying to play the sympathy card, it was well known at the time that Tupac had decided to leave his label. Singer-songwriter Keisha Cole, who says she was with the rapper the night he was K'd in a drive-by shooting, made the revelation during an Instagram live conversation with Fat Joe. Cole claims that Tupac was going to leave Death Row Records to sign with Quincy Jones' record label. Cole said, he wanted to sign me to Quincy's label when he was with Kadeda, Quincy's daughter, and he was gonna leave Death Row and go to sign with Quincy. He wanted me to go over there because he said that Death Row was not the place for kids. I was 15. He died when I was 16, right when my birthday was coming around. I just remember getting earrings in the mail from Death Row Records, but Suge, of course, was already in jail. But when Suge was asked about it, he refused to acknowledge the claims. You should answer that. You don't take a person like Tupac who, if you listen to every song on All Eyes on Me, every song on Machiavelli, every time he does an interview, what's the first thing he say? Death Row. Tupac loved Death Row. Tupac loved me, I loved him. I mean, Tupac took Death Row to the next level. I mean, we worked hard. We laid the foundation down. Snoop took the baton and he ran with it, and he did a great job with it. But Tupac got the baton. Not only did he win the race, he finished so fast he was able to sit back and drink some Thug Passion in and come up with another play. If you'd asked Tupac that question, that was he planning on leaving Death Row, he definitely would have cussed you out. You would be surprised to know that Biggie was also trying to leave his label. Gene appeared on DJ Vlad's vlog and claimed the late rapper made moves to leave Bad Boy for a lucrative deal worth more than $60 million. Deal said he saw Big's Bad Boy contract when he had to watch over Diddy's briefcase during a flight. It outlined Big's earnings in increments of $250,000, but left publishing income in Puff's possession. When he asked Biggie about it, the rapper allegedly told him about his new deal and all the money he'd make. He said, he showed me. It had Charlie Baltimore, Cameron, Lil Cease, Lil Kim, Junior Mafia, Tracy Lee, and the Commission. I think the contract was for so many years for like $62 million. It comes out to $62 million. Miss Wallace, Biggie's mother, explained that her son was being exploited at the cost of his loyalty by Diddy. The truth is, Christopher accepted the illusion of a friend and mentor for about $25,000. That's the amount Puffy lured my son with. That was a lot of money for Christopher back then as a 19-year-old. He had never seen that much at one time in his life, Wallace wrote. It was enough money to make my son believe that Puffy was ready to do anything for him. It was enough to buy a blind love and loyalty. Chapter 6. Biggie Smalls' Demise. But once things went south, Biggie became scared of how serious the beef had gotten. In an old interview, Biggie explained that the threat to his life was so real that he became paranoid.
I think about that every day. Every day it's real. That's how real it is. I think somebody's trying to me.
But Biggie wasn't paranoid. He knew something was up. Just 6 months later, Biggie went to LA to attend the 11th annual Soul Train Music Awards. Ironically, at the time of his visit, he was in the process of recording his second studio album, Life After Death. Smalls was fatally shot in a drive-by shooting in Los Angeles just after leaving a party at the Peterson Automotive Museum.
The second time in 6 months, a star in the often brutal world of gangster rap has been gunned down. This time it was Notorious B.I.G.
Big Gip alluded that it was the work of an insider because the culprits knew that Biggie would be injured. Gip explained that the doctors had just taken the cast off Big's leg, but the limp was clearly there when he walked.
They knew he was hurt. That's why you shouldn't have had him out there while he was hurt, because with him hurt, he couldn't move, couldn't do like how he used to do, so, you know what I mean? Like, they caught him.
And just like Tupac, it was a drive-by shooting.
Caught him at the light. They drove up on him, hit him with the ba-ba-ba-ba-bam, and bust the right, bro. Just like how Tupac got hit. Hit Pac, bust the right, dip.
Another disturbing fact about the whole ordeal was pointed out by Gene Deal, a part of Biggie's security team. He revealed that B's car was marked by stickers. He alleged that it was done to make it easier for the shooters to recognize Big's car. He also hinted that Puff was the only one with the authority to do that. In an interview with The Art of Dialogue, he said,
Puff didn't have it on his car. Only one that has an opportunity and only one that could have done that was somebody from the street team.
Deal revealed that the cars were rented, so the stickers were prohibited by contract.
Those cars was rented. So to put those stickers on there, you defacing the property.
Deal detailed that when the group was at Andre Harrell's house, Puff tried to stop him from going with Biggie. He claimed that he felt that something bad was going to happen.
Before we left Andre Harrell's house, Puff told me I didn't have to go. I knew that somebody was going to that night.
Chapter 7. New Development. Despite the passage of numerous years, the chase surrounding Biggie Smalls remains unresolved, leaving fans and investigators alike with lingering questions. Similarly, Tupac's case had hit a roadblock when no new developments emerged. However, after an astonishing 27-year hiatus, a significant breakthrough occurred with the arrest of Keef D. While he isn't identified as the accused gunman, authorities have labeled him as the group's ringleader. In Nevada, the legal framework allows for individuals to be charged with a crime if they are found to have aided or abetted someone in the commission of that crime. Davis himself has admitted in interviews and in his 2019 tell-all memoir, Compton Street Legend, that he provided the gun used in the drive-by shooting. In an interview with TMZ, Suge Knight alluded that Keef had nothing to do with Tupac's case.
Me and Keefy D played on the same Pop Warner football team. And whatever the circumstances, if he had an involvement with anything, if he didn't have any involvement in anything.
Many believe that Suge is indirectly confirming Diddy's involvement in the case. But the point is that even though Suge is insinuating things, Keef would most probably take Diddy's name in the investigation. You see, D has always been provocatively vocal about Diddy's alleged bounty on Suge and Tupac's heads. D said they allegedly settled the terms of the hit at Greenblatt's Deli, where Keef D asked for $1 million to K both Tupac and Knight. Keef D alleged he told Diddy, "We'll wipe their A out quick, man, it's nothing." Let's not forget that in a paparazzi interview, Suge hinted that Diddy knew who was behind Tupac's demise. Suge said, "Everybody know off the top, I ain't the guy that did it. I'm the guy that protected Tupac. Be a Puffy can get him a mother F star on the Walk of Fame. And every rat in the world say he's the one who K'd Tupac or had a mess." The longtime detective in Tupac's case, Greg Kading, had also shared his 2 cents on the situation. Greg believes that Diddy could be held accountable for his actions if there are witnesses or strong evidence of some sort to prove D's claims.
You're going to need some really strong, credible, corroborating witnesses. You're going to need people that said, "I was there when a financial transaction took place."
Fans believe that finally, there will be repercussions for Diddy's actions. One fan said, quote, "I've been saying this all along. No way they would arrest Puff on Keef D's word alone. Aside from being a well-known criminal, liar, and gang member, even if Keef was a stand-up straight guy, say he was a doctor or some other professional, it wouldn't be enough just his word alone. Puff would get the best legal team money can buy. The police know they need an airtight case to even consider arrest and prosecution with someone as rich as Puffy. Not forgetting, Puff is a fairly powerful guy. I'd bet he could pull a few favors in to grease the wheels, so to speak. It's indeed a sad reality that even after a quarter century, the case of Biggie Smalls remains unsolved to this very day. However, as law enforcement agencies continue to investigate and hold the belief that Tupac and Biggie's cases are interconnected, there is a glimmer of hope for closure. For the devoted fans of Biggie, this lingering hope offers the possibility of finally seeing justice served and the person responsible for exploiting their idol brought to account.